Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Too Good to Be True podcast. I am your host, Pascal Mayela. Yesterday, I'm I apologize if I didn't do the podcast because I had a technical issue in my house, but we will do the recap from the yesterday, actually the 2 day before game six between OKC and Nuggets. We were talking about the Celtics and the Knicks, the Wolf and Warriors, and the game six of the OKC and Nuggets. So let's get started right now. Make Before that, make sure to subscribe. Leave your comment on my podcast, on my YouTube channel. Notify and share with somebody, with your friend. And don't forget to listen to this podcast on Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. Let's get right to it. So the first game we will talk about, it is the Knicks Celtics uh, game five. So we always say game five. It was a game emergency for the Celtics. So we did get an emergency for the Celtics. So with the great victory of the Celtics, 127 to 102 for the Celtics. Let's start with the Knicks. Start with the Knicks. Jalen Brunson had 22 points, one rebound, six assists. Shot for 7 to 17, 1 and 4 on the 3 point. His partner in crime, Cat, was yet once again, like I said, like I said, he's inconsistent. 19 point, 8 rebound, one steal, one block. Shot for 5 and 11 in field goal, 1 and 3 in the 3 point. OG Anunoby, non-existent. 6 point, 8 rebound, 2 assists. Shot for 1 and 12 in the field goal and 1 and 5 in the 3 point. Josh Hart, 24 point, 7 rebound, 2 assists. Shot for 7 and 15 in the field goal, 5 and 9 in the 3 point. Compared to the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, who who's Jason Tatum partner in crime, 26 point, 8 rebound, 12 assists, 1 steal. Shot for 9 and 17 in the field goal, 3 and 5 in the 3 point. Derek White also he stepped up, 24 point, 3 rebound, 2 assists, 3 blocks. Shot for 9 and 16 in the field goal, 7 and 13 on the 3 point. Um, the unsung hero on this game, Luke Cornett, 10 point, 9 rebound, and 7 blocks in the game. So that is, like I said, unsung hero moment. Yes, he had with Joe Mazzulla had to replace Kristaps Porzingis because he was a no-show, and he put him on the bench. That is so impressive um with Luke Cornett. So also it was a great strategy. But also we got also give a shout out to Peyton Pritchard, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, one steal, shot was 6 and 17 on the field goal, 5 and 14 on the 3 point. So that the Celtics played in a state of emergency. They know that Jason Tatum's out for the playoff. So somebody had to step up. And with Kristaps Porzingis, who's a no-show in this series, Luke Cornett, the unsung hero, stepped up with 7 blocks. Coach Tibb, you need to learn that from Joe Mazzulla to rely on your bench. Rely on your bench. So let's listen to what uh Coach Tibb got to say about the Knicks defense in the loss against the Celtics. So Before the commercial break, make sure people to like, subscribe, notify, leave your comment on my video on my YouTube channel so that you don't miss an upload video that will put on my YouTube channel. Don't forget that. So, couple of seconds. So we're gonna listen to Coach Tib. I gonna disappear. Oh no, hold on. Sorry for that. That's just what you gotta say. Then I will reply.
Big thing, we got to get stops. Like the first half, we scored fine, and Cat was in foul trouble for a good chunk of it, and so, but we scored 59. That wasn't the issue. The issue was the defense, and then to start the third, we got in a hole. We are trying to get on track, but you got to get some stops so you can get into the open floor, and so I thought that probably hurt us as well.
Tom, I'm curious whether I think a lot of fans or just the average person from the outside looks in and says Tatum's not there. The way that a team maybe moves the ball without a star player there, how fundamentally different is it just to stay on top of things and to be mindful of ball movement the way that a team can do that when someone's not there?
Well, that doesn't change stylistically, like in terms of they have a lot of shooting on the floor, so that's going to remain the same. And I think the thing about their team is they're a great defensive team as well. So we have to understand that we can't be slow getting back, and you can't give open shots to them. And so we got to be tougher with our closeouts and taking airspace away, and we got to be better with our communication.
So you listen what the coach Tip says about the sorry for the commercial because I don't really like commercials. But you heard what Coach Tip said. The defense is an issue. So while the commercial continues, let's listen to Joe Mazzulla a little bit.
And here you are. Don't often find yourselves with your backs against the wall. And here you are in probably the toughest situation. What is it about your team that's able to respond in these moments?
I mean, that's just who they are as people. I mean, it's the character of those guys. Been around a lot of these guys been around the league a long time, and they've seen a lot. And to me, you just rely on the character of the guys, the togetherness, the staff. At the end of the day, you don't get to pick the test that you have. You just pick how you respond to them, and and that's kind of how life works.
So you heard what Coach Joe Mazzulla said and Coach Tip's got to say. I will say this um, for Coach Tips that you need to rely more on the bench and the defense. Yes, that part I agree, but also you need to rely more on the bench. Look at how Joe Mazzulla is using his bench. So that's what I'm gonna say for this game. And for the Nets, Game 6 is in Madison Square Garden. You need to win this game. And I know I'm not going to do prediction on this today, but Game 6 very very necessary. So let's move on from the next game that I want to talk about. It is the Warriors versus the Wolf, and I want to share it with you guys. The result. I want to share it. Let's share it right now. So a great win for the Timberwolves, who are advancing to the Western Conference Final back-to-back for the first time in their franchise history. 121 to 110, 110. If I look at the box score, um, Brandon Porzimski, sorry how to pronounce his name, 28 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Jimmy Butler, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, shot for 4 and 11 in the field goal, 0 and 3 on the 3 point. Sorry for the uh, Brzezinski. I forgot to say 11 and 19 in the field goal, 4 and 6 on the 3 point. Draymond Green was a no-show. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, shot for 4 and 11 in the field goal, 1 and 6 in the 3 point. And Jonathan Kuminga from the bench got a great game. 26 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, shot for 11 and 23 in the 3 point, 3 and 9 in the 3 point. Sorry, I forgot to put my face in. Compared to the Timberwolves, who and Carl Anthony Town, I'm not Carl Anthony Town, but Anthony Edwards, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 12 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks, shot for 8 and 15 on the field goal, 5 and 9 in the 3 point. Compared to his partner in crime, Julius Randle, who had 29 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, shot for 13 and 18 on the field goal, 2 and 6 in the 3 point. And Dante DiVincenzo, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, shot for 5 and 7 in the field goal, 2 and 4 in the 3 point. Now, what can I say about this game? I can say you that the Wolf and Anthony Edwards, they're back to the Western Conference Finals. And let me tell you this, and I didn't say that for the previous game for the Knicks, and I will say it right now. If the Knicks do not win Game 6 at home, and cannot win Game 7 in Boston, it's going to be a complete failure from them. And the trade that happened this in training camp, the Carl Anthony Town to the Wolf for and the Wolf got Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. That something that'll prove me that the Minnesota did the right reason to trade Carl Anthony Town. So Nets need to win Game 6. But let's go back to the Wolves and the Warriors. Wolves, like I said, congratulations, they went to the Western Conference Final again. Anthony Edwards shows out why he's the guy. He eliminated a lot of those players during his career. Jokic, Jamal Murray, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Draymond, Jimmy Butler, even Steph. Even though he was injured, but he did not play. But let's listen to what Coach Steve Kerr got to say after the loss to the Wolf in 5, because we were all I was expecting that Steph Curry would come back in Game 5, in my opinion, but he didn't. But I think it's great time for that he recovers from this his hamstring. So let's listen to what Steve Kerr got to say.
Pods and Jonathan, your younger guys, obviously with Steph's injury, they had a bigger role in this series. How much can this playoff experience sort of help them going forward?
Fantastic playoff experience for both guys. Very proud of Jonathan, to go from where he was in the Houston series, not really being part of the rotation. And then when Steph got hurt, staying ready and coming in, and he played really well here these last 4 games. And BP, this was a great experience for him. He said there were times in the series where he was hesitant to shoot. Even tonight, he was 4 for 6. I thought he could have gotten 10 or 11 threes off, and we needed those. And I told him that after the game. I said, when we get back here next year, you are not going to turn down a single shot. And that's part of the playoffs. I lived it as a player. It is a mind. It's a mind game. I call it, something more profane. It's, but the playoffs are they are a mind game. And it's really easy to lose your confidence. Teams throw different schemes at you. you have a bad game and everybody's talking about your shooting percentage and you feel like you're on an island. I've been there, and it's great for Brandon to go through that and then finish the series with a great game, because he's got to understand this is what it feels like. Nobody cares in January if you have two games where you're 4 for 20. But in the playoffs, everybody's writing about it. Everybody's talking about it. You feel exposed, and that's a big part of playoff experience, is understanding you got to keep firing. You got to stay aggressive, keep your confidence any way you can.
So, so I'm glad that Steve Kerr talked about Podziemski and Kaminga, but let's listen to Julius Randle first. Then I'll get back to the Steve Kerr comment on Podziemski and Kaminga.
We came out with the right approach. We did great. We came out with the right approach. We knew, like I said all series, they have championship DNA, and they weren't just going to lay down. They were going to make us earn it, and they did. They fought, but we came out with the right approach, right mindset, and executed for most of the game. So
the season took a lot of turns, a lot of ups and downs. Just what does it mean to you to see this team go through all of that to get to a conference finals here?
It's great. It's great. Just proud of our group as a whole, organization as a whole, just sticking together, having each other's backs, and, just battling through adversity together, not letting hard times, split us up as a group, but, us, having a mental toughness and, determination and say we're going to figure this thing out, because I think all of us, as a whole believe how good, we could be as a team. So, I'm extremely proud of everybody in this organization on this team.
So you heard what both Kerr and Julius Randle got to say. I'm gonna say this. Um, like I said, congratulations to the Wolf. They deserve to win, go to the conference final. With or without Steph Curry playing, they did what they're supposed to do. You beat the team that is in front of you. So that's congratulations to the Wolf. Besides that, I want to talk about the comment of Steve Kerr about Podziemski and Kaminga have playoff experience and what it means for their future. I think it's very important um, that Steve Kerr does that, because with the Kaminga situation, I think that was I blame Steve Kerr for that, because uh, he should have played him in regular season and he should have played in the playoff. I don't know why. Maybe it's got to do with his contract, but I don't know. Maybe Kaminga one day gonna sit down, do an interview, explain why Steve Kerr did not play him in the regular season and in the playoff. That's a pretty much a mystery to me, because I thought the Warriors should have built for the future, in my opinion, but they didn't. But it is what it is. I think they need to regroup for next season. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler are not young anymore. They're not young anymore, so they need to they need to not rebuild but retool. That's what I'm about to say. So retool the next season. Moving on for the next game that I want to talk about is the Nuggets versus OKC, Game 6, game necessary for the Nuggets, and great victory for the Nuggets, 119 to 107. So let's look at the stats right now. Let's look at the stats. Let's go start with OKC. Uh, SGA 32.3 rebounds, 6 assists, shot for 11 and 16 on field goal, 2 and 4 in 3 point. Chem Holmgren 19 point, 11 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, shot for 8 and 14 in the field goal, 2 and 7 in 3 point. Uh, Jalen Williams 6 points. I'm disappointed. Jalen Williams 6.7 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 steals, one blocks. Shot for 3 and 16 on the field goal, 0 and 4 on the 3 point. Luke Dort also disappointed. 10.2 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, 0 block, 4 and 9 in the field goal, 2 and 7 in the 3 point. Compared to the um Nuggets, Jokic, 29 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steal, 1 block, shot for 9 and 14 in the field goal, 1 and 3 in the 3 point. Jamal Murray, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 block, shot for 9 and 19 in the field goal, 2 and 6 in the 3 points. Uh, Chris, Christian Braun, 23 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, shot for 8 and 14 on the field goal, 3 and 6 on the 3 point. What can I say about that? I can tell you right now that the Nuggets playing in a necessary game, an important game for them, and they did it. They delivered. Now they have to close out Game 7. I believe in OKC in Game 7, because this is, actually for both teams, it's very important. In the case of OKC, how can I say this? They're very young. They have experience, but they don't know how to close out game, especially in a team that can really match you, like the Nuggets. So to me, the OKC need to close out Game 7. But before that, let's listen what the coach Digno had to say in the press conference. But before that, let's be sure to subscribe, leave your comment, notify, and like some of my video on my podcast. So let's listen to what Coach Digno got to say.
View of the 48 minutes, it just seemed like maybe compared to some of the other games in the series, your team didn't quite have its fastball the way that it had.
Yeah, I thought, we played a really good first half. I thought to weather the early storm the way we did and only be down 3 at the end of the first quarter was positive. We obviously took control of the game in the second, which was positive, and then they just outplayed us in the second half. They were sharper, executed better, made more plays. So, credit them. They went and got the game.
Mark, how relevant did you feel the close to the first half was at all to what happened in the second half?
Say that again.
Relevant did you feel the close to the first half was to what it all transpired in the second half?
We didn't close the first half great, but when halftime ends, you get 24 minutes to go play your best, regardless of what just happened. So, we had that opportunity. So did they. They outplayed us in the second half.
And I believe Shea, Hardenstein, and Jay Will all got their third foul, like almost in succession. Like, what did you feel changed when that happened, and do you feel that sort of had a larger impact on the way things played out in the game?
It obviously impacted substitutions. Trying to manage that a little bit, which isn't out of the ordinary. They all ended, without fouling out, so they were able to manage it in the game. I was a little bit conscious of it, obviously, at the end of the first to get Shea there with 4. But otherwise, again, we had the same opportunity Denver did in the second half, and they outplayed us.
So you heard what he said, that the Denver Nuggets outplayed them, which I totally agree with Coach Dingle said. The Nuggets outplayed OKC in that series. But also, like I said, I wasn't surprised there's going to be a Game 7. So Sunday Game 7 is a close-out important for both teams. But now they have all those 6 games they have figured it out. They're going to learn how to. I think they already know. So it's going to be a slow Game 7 because everybody know each other. Everybody know what they're going to do. So I'm not going to give my prediction for Game 7. Same thing with the Knicks. They're playing in a couple of hours in Game 6. So no prediction today. So make sure to like, subscribe, notify, leave your comment on my video on my podcast, and then don't forget to listen to this podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcast. If you want to follow me on social media, follow me on Facebook now. I added Facebook at Pascal Mayala. On Instagram, Pascal underscore Mayala underscore 15. Same thing on X, formerly Twitter, is at Belly versus PMM. So for that, thank you very much for listening to this podcast, and I'll see you next time.